You gotta meet my little booby. That's my cat. This is Rocky. He just has to be with me when I'm making these videos. Hi, Karla here, and I'm glad you decided to join me on another magical adventure. Today, we're going to be looking at various tree resins and their characteristics. This is going to be helpful when we're making incense blends and deciding which resin will be perfect for that particular blend. So let's talk about resins and just why they're so cool and magical. Resins are really a wonderful defense mechanism of the tree, for the tree. Let's say a tree gets injured. At the site of the wound, the tree oozes out this honey-like substance that covers the wound. And it protects it from bacteria, insects, animals. Yeah? And it even has healing properties that help the tree to heal faster. Now, over time, that honey-like substance will cure, it will harden, and that is what we use as resin. Now, resins have been used throughout history, both internally, topically, and aromatically. And although I have a very good story to tell about how using myrrh topically on an injury that I had is wonderful, I'll save that for another video. In today's video, we're really going to be using and talking about the characteristics of the tree resin as far as aromatics and using them in incense blends or as an incense itself. I absolutely love incense, so I decided that I wanted to learn how to make incense. Well, going down that rabbit hole, I discovered that there were many types of incense, many forms, but the one thing that I did discover was that it was important to know the characteristics of each ingredient you put into your incense. For example, you can smell a flower that you think smells wonderful, but when you burn it, it smells totally different. It could smell just like burnt hay and doesn't resemble its fragrance at all. So knowing the characteristics of your ingredients will go a long way in helping you to create a beautiful incense blend. So here's how we're going to proceed. First, we're going to prepare the resins. And at this point, we're going to be checking its physical properties, how hard it is, the coloring, how it's shaped, how it's formed, that sort of thing. Second, the next step, we're going to burn it. We're going to see what it smells like. We're going to see how it burns and what its burn time, how long it burns for. And then lastly, I'm going to show you how I personally develop a deeper relationship with each of the resins. All right, so let's get started and have some fun. It's here, finally. Here's a sample pack of resins that I bought from Soul Niche. And I got some copals. This is Mayan dark copal. This is Frankincense First Choice Tears. Here's white copal. And some black frankincense. Myrrh high grade. And dragon's blood. So we're going to start with our copals. Now, let's start with the white copal. It's a light pale color, and as you can see, it wasn't too hard to break up using my mortar and pestle. And now for the dark copal, it has a toffee-like color, and it also wasn't very hard, but I would consider these copals to be soft resins because they were pretty easy. So I'm going to call it a soft resin. Okay, let's move on to the frankincense. This is the first choice tiers, and it's like a light beige. Now it is harder than the copal to grind up. It took more time and pressure to grind this up, but it smelled awesome when crushed. Now let's look at the black frankincense. And it's a very dark brown, almost black in color. And it was also relatively hard to grind, much harder than the copal. So I'm going to classify these frankincense to be hard resins. So now let's check out the myrrh. Now it has a sort of a caramely brown color, and it is definitely harder than the copals, and it's even harder than the frankincense to grind up. So I would consider myrrh to be a very hard resin. And finally, let's check out dragon's blood. Now it has a deep burgundy color, and it is soft. It was so easy to grind up. I would definitely classify this as a very soft resin. All right, so now let's burn the resins. So I'm gonna burn a 1/4 teaspoon of each resin on its own half disc of quick lighting charcoal. And then I'm gonna time it to see how long it burns. This will give me a general feel for each resin. So let's start with myrrh. Now to me, myrrh smells earthy, a little sweet, sort of like bittersweet chocolate. The burn time was 2 minutes and 23 seconds, and it burns pretty cleanly. Now we do the same for dragon's blood. Whew. It smoked up so fast it surprised me. I'm sure it's because it was so soft and powdery. Now, dragon's blood smells to me mildly spicy, a little sweet, sort of brassy. I can't think of a better word to describe it. Burn time, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And I think it melts when burned, but I'll have to work with it more to really know. Okay, here's the first choice tiers frankincense. I really like the smell. It's sweet, like cake, but in a rich sort of way. It smells like balsam and woodsy and citrusy all at the same time. Burn time, it definitely burned over 3 minutes. I'm gonna call it at approximately 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, black frankincense, I really liked it too. It's definitely a more in your face kind of scent. It's very woodsy and piney with a hint of mint. Now the burn time is approximately 3 minutes and 25 seconds. So I consider frankincense as long burning resins. and they both burned pretty cleanly. Now for the copals. Here's white copal. Now it smells very clean, bright, lemony and piney. Burn time, 2 minutes, 50 seconds. And it burns pretty clearly as well. And lastly, we have dark copal. Now it has a clean scent, but it's heavier, and it smells like a deep forest smell. Burn time is 2 minutes and 50 seconds. All right, so now let me show you how I've gone a little deeper. So if you've watched my previous videos, you've seen this quick little booklet I made for my incense making. Well, these pages are dedicated to my study of the ingredients. Now, I get great ideas from fellow YouTubers, and I'll always put their names in the description box under honorable mentions. So basically, I sit with each resin one at a time and ask myself these questions. Now, besides the obvious, what does it smell like? I describe what color I would give this fragrance, what shape, sound, taste, and most importantly, how does it make me feel emotionally and physically? Then I note what I've researched for its medicinal and spiritual purposes. And in the notes section, I include all the physical properties that I learned earlier. This was a great exercise for me to get much better acquainted with these resins. And it will definitely help me in making my incense blend. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments section if you also keep an incense journal. I would love to hear about it. Well, okay, I'll see you in our next adventure.